Hey there. You sent over a really fascinating mix of stuff on spermidine. We've got studies, articles, even some of your own notes. It looks like you're especially keen on its potential for longevity and reproductive health.
Yeah, I'd say that's right.
That's where we'll focus this deep dive.
Really interesting area of research, for sure.
Yeah.
Spermidine is this naturally occurring polyamine, and it's
Mm.
found in all living organisms. And it seems to be involved in so many, really crucial cellular processes.
That's right. And one of the most exciting things about spermidine, I think, is its potential to slow down aging. Like there's this study in the journal Cell Communication and Signaling that used porcine oocytes,
Oh, wow.
egg cells from pigs, as a model
It's
to
interesting.
look at how spermidine might influence oocyte quality as females age.
Okay, so what they found was that spermidine supplementation actually reduced fragmentation in the oocytes during what's called postovulatory aging.
Right.
Essentially, fragmentation is a sign of cellular deterioration,
Gotcha.
So the fact that spermidine could combat this, it's kind of a big deal.
It is a big deal. It's like spermidine is giving these aging oocytes a revitalizing boost.
Yeah.
And it's not just about fragmentation. This study also found that spermidine counteracted some of the negative effects of aging on those really intricate structures within the oocytes, things like spindle organization
Mm-hmm.
and chromosome alignment, which are essential for healthy cell division.
Yeah, and this isn't just limited to pigs.
Right.
A research paper on caloric restriction mimetics, or CRMs, highlights
Okay.
how spermidine levels actually naturally decrease with age in lots of organisms. So that suggests that spermidine's role in aging might be a fundamental biological process.
It does, yeah. And that same paper actually goes even further, identifying spermidine as a promising intervention
Wow.
to potentially slow down aging. It's a bold statement, but it seems to be supported by a growing body of evidence.
Absolutely. And what's really interesting is that spermidine doesn't just impact aging on a cellular level, right?
Mm.
There's also this promising research suggesting that it could actually enhance fertility, especially in older females.
Okay.
So by improving the quality of those oocytes we talked about,
Yeah,
spermidine might be a game changer for couples who are struggling to conceive.
that's amazing. And that cell communication and signaling study
Right.
that we mentioned earlier actually found that spermidine supplementation improved both sperm binding and fertilization rates in aged oocytes.
That's huge
It is huge, yeah.
for anyone who's concerned about age-related fertility decline.
Yeah, for sure.
It seems like spermidine is actually enhancing the ability of those sperm to find and bind with the egg, right?
Okay.
Increasing the chances of successful fertilization.
So we've seen that spermidine has these incredible potential benefits for both longevity and reproductive health.
Mm.
But what's the science behind it?
Right.
How does spermidine actually achieve all of this at the cellular level?
Well, that's where things get really fascinating. Spermidine appears to work on multiple fronts, almost like a multi-pronged approach to cellular rejuvenation.
Uh-huh.
One of the key mechanisms seems to be its ability to enhance mitochondrial function.
Right.
Mitochondrial.
Like you're the powerhouses of the
Yeah,
cells.
they are the powerhouses of our cells responsible for producing energy.
Yeah.
So by supporting mitochondrial health,
Mm-hmm.
spermidine helps to ensure that our cells are functioning at their best.
Yeah. It's like giving our cells the fuel that they need to thrive.
Uh-huh.
But that's not the only way that spermidine works its magic, is it?
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Spermidine is also incredibly effective
Oh, yeah.
at eliminating those harmful reactive oxygen species, also known as ROS. These ROS are essentially like cellular rust. They damage our cells and contribute to aging.
Uh-huh.
Spermidine helps to keep those ROS in check,
Right.
protecting our cells from oxidative stress.
So it's not only fueling our cells, but also acting as this powerful antioxidant,
Exactly.
protecting them from damage.
That's it. And there's even more. Research indicates that spermidine can inhibit apoptosis, which is the programmed death of cells.
Interesting.
It's like telling those healthy cells, hold on, you're not done yet.
It seems like spermidine is really working hard to keep our cells healthy and functioning optimally.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
And to add to that,
All right.
spermidine also enhances autophagy, the cell's self-cleaning process.
Right.
Imagine it as like a cellular recycling system,
Yeah.
helping our cells get rid of waste
Mhm.
and damaged components and promoting that cellular renewal and rejuvenation.
So spermidine is boosting energy production, fighting damage, preventing cell death,
Yeah.
and even helping our cells clean up. That's a pretty impressive resume.
It really is. Spermidine is showing this immense potential as a powerful tool
Yeah.
for supporting cellular health and potentially even extending lifespan.
This all sounds incredibly promising, but I imagine our listener is wondering,
Yeah.
should I be taking spermidine supplements?
Yeah. Well, it's a question many people are asking.
Right.
And for good reason. With all this excitement
Right.
around spermidine's potential
Hmm.
as this anti-aging and fertility boosting agent,
Yeah.
it's natural to consider supplements.
And there's research to back that up, right?
Absolutely. Studies have shown some incredibly positive results with spermidine supplements.
Okay.
But as with any supplement,
Right.
it's important to be informed
Definitely.
and make the best decision for your individual needs.
That makes sense. So where do we go from here?
Well, while the existing research is very compelling, there's still so much more to uncover. Scientists are delving deeper into optimal dosages, long-term effects, and how spermidine interacts with other factors like diet and lifestyle.
It's a rapidly evolving field, but it seems like spermidine is definitely a molecule worth paying attention to.
I completely agree.
Well, this has been a fascinating look at spermidine's effects on aging and fertility.
Yeah.
But we're just getting started.
Right. You provided some research on spermidine's effect on the gut microbiome,
Right.
and I think it's worth exploring. This study kind of highlights how spermidine might influence the abundance of certain bacteria in our gut,
Okay.
potentially impacting our overall health and immune function.
That's really interesting. It seems like spermidine is involved in so many different aspects of our biology. So we've got the cellular level,
Yeah.
the reproductive system, and now the gut microbiome. What else is spermidine doing in the body?
You also shared a study
Yes.
that examined how spermidine, when combined with other compounds like chloroquine,
Oh, okay.
can actually enhance the delivery of gene therapies into cancer cells. So this has significant implications for the future of cancer treatment.
That sounds really promising. How does that work exactly?
Well, think of it this way. When you want to deliver a gene into a cell, you need a way to get that gene package inside.
Right.
Spermidine can actually improve the efficiency of this process, known as transfection, by helping to condense the DNA into these tiny nanoparticles that can more easily enter the cells.
So spermidine is acting like a delivery system, making gene therapy more targeted and effective.
Exactly.
And what about chloroquine? What role does it play?
Chloroquine can disrupt tiny compartments within our cells called endosomes.
Okay.
These endosomes often trap the gene therapy nanoparticles,
At least
preventing them from reaching their target. Chloroquine helps to release those nanoparticles, allowing the gene therapy to reach its destination within the cell.
so it's like a two-pronged approach.
Yeah.
Spermidine delivers the package, and chloroquine helps it bypass security to reach its destination. That's incredible. But shifting gears a bit, I'm curious about ways to naturally boost spermidine production in our bodies. Is that even possible?
That's a great question, and researchers are looking into this.
Okay.
There's growing interest in understanding what influences spermidine synthesis within our bodies. Some studies suggest that certain lifestyle choices, like regular exercise and potentially even caloric restriction, might stimulate spermidine production.
So it's like we have this internal spermidine factory,
Mm-hmm.
and we can potentially tweak its output through lifestyle changes.
Yeah.
That's a really empowering thought.
Yeah.
But what about diet? Are there any foods that are particularly rich in spermidine?
Absolutely. Nature has provided us with some delicious sources of this remarkable polyamine.
Okay.
Wheat germ, for instance, is a spermidine powerhouse.
Interesting.
Mushrooms,
Mm-hmm.
especially shiitake mushrooms, are also packed with spermidine.
So incorporating these foods into our diet could be a natural way to increase our spermidine intake.
Yeah.
But what about spermidine supplements? Are there any potential downsides or risks to be aware of?
Well, while spermidine is generally considered safe, especially when consumed through food,
Right.
it's important to be mindful of potential side effects, particularly with high doses of supplementation. Some people might experience gastrointestinal issues like diarrhea or nausea.
So as with any supplement, it's essential to listen to your body.
Yeah.
Start with a lower dose and consult with your doctor if you have any concerns. But overall, the potential benefits of spermidine supplementation seem to outweigh the risks,
I think so.
especially as we age.
That's right. As we get older, our natural spermidine levels tend to decline.
Yeah.
Supplementing with spermidine could be a way to replenish those levels and potentially combat some of the negative effects of aging.
It's like giving our bodies a little extra support to maintain cellular health and vitality as we age. And speaking of aging, are there any specific groups of people who might benefit the most from spermidine supplementation?
While more research is needed, there's emerging evidence that older adults who naturally experienced a decline in spermidine levels might see more pronounced benefits.
It makes sense that those whose spermidine levels are naturally lower would benefit most from a boost. But what about people experiencing age-related cognitive decline? Could spermidine help there as well?
That's an area of active research, and the initial findings are promising. Several studies are investigating spermidine's potential to protect brain cells and enhance cognitive function.
So spermidine can not only help us live longer, but also help us maintain cognitive sharpness and function as we age.
Yeah.
That's a really exciting prospect. And I wonder, is there a connection between spermidine and other popular anti-aging strategies, like intermittent fasting or specific diets?
That's a fascinating thought.
Yeah?
It's definitely something that researchers are investigating.
Oh,
And
yeah.
early evidence suggests that combining spermidine supplementation with certain lifestyle choices may amplify its benefits.
Okay.
Imagine if intermittent fasting, for instance, could naturally boost spermidine production, and you combine that with spermidine supplementation.
It's an interesting concept. So it's not just about relying on one solution, but rather creating a synergistic approach to healthy aging.
Exactly. It's about weaving together these healthy habits, diet,
All right.
exercise, and potentially spermidine supplementation to support our well-being on multiple levels.
It's almost like creating a personalized recipe for longevity, combining different strategies to achieve optimal health.
That's a great way to think about it. And it's important to remember that while spermidine is a powerful molecule with immense potential,
Right,
it's not a magic bullet.
right. It's not a cure-all, but rather a valuable tool that we can use to support our journey towards healthy aging. It's about making informed choices about our diet,
Yeah.
our exercise routine, and our overall lifestyle with spermidine as a potential ally in that endeavor.
Absolutely. It's about adopting a holistic approach to aging, recognizing that our health is a multifaceted tapestry influenced by numerous factors.
You mentioned earlier that spermidine research is rapidly evolving.
Yeah.
What are some of the most promising areas of research that are currently being explored? What are the big questions scientists are still trying to answer?
One of the most exciting areas is personalized medicine. As we've discussed, spermidine's effects can vary depending on the individual. Researchers are developing ways to assess spermidine levels and tailor supplementation strategies accordingly.
So it's about finding the right dose for the right person at the right time. That makes sense. What other frontiers are researchers exploring in the world of spermidine?
Another exciting area is the investigation of spermidine's effects on specific age-related diseases. We talked about its potential for cognitive health, but there's also research exploring its role in cardiovascular health, immune function, and even cancer prevention.
It sounds like spermidine research is really starting to blossom, branching out into all these different areas of human health.
It really is a fascinating field, and new discoveries are happening all the time.
Well, this has been an incredible exploration of the science behind spermidine. But before we move on, is there one key takeaway, one core message you'd like to leave our listener with?
If I had to distill it down to one message, it would be this. Spermidine is a powerful ally in our quest for healthy aging. It's a molecule that plays a vital role in countless cellular processes and holds incredible potential to combat age-related decline.
It's not just about adding years to our lives, but about adding life to our years.
Exactly. It's about living longer and living better.
Right.
And spermidine might just be one of the keys to achieving that.
Well said. Now, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, but there's still so much more to explore. Let's shift our focus now to the potential societal implications of this groundbreaking research. So we've talked about the science behind spermidine,
Right.
its potential benefits, and even how to incorporate it into our lives. But now I'm curious about the bigger picture.
You mean the potential impact this research could have on society as a whole?
Exactly. Like, if spermidine truly has the power to extend human lifespan and enhance health span, how might that reshape our world?
It's a fascinating question,
Yeah.
and one that raises many important considerations.
Right.
For example,
Yeah.
how would longer lifespans affect things like population growth, retirement, healthcare systems,
Right.
even our concept of aging itself?
It's almost like we're on the cusp of a paradigm shift, a redefinition of what it means to age and what's possible in the later stages of life.
I think that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
We're moving beyond simply extending lifespan and entering the realm of extending health span, living not just longer, but better.
Right.
And that has profound implications for individuals and society alike.
I'm particularly interested in the potential economic impact. Longer lifespans could lead to longer careers, increased productivity,
Oh, for sure.
and a need to rethink traditional retirement models.
Absolutely. And it could also lead to new industries and opportunities focused on supporting healthy aging.
Right.
Imagine a world where people in their 70s and 80s are still active,
Yeah.
engaged members of the workforce,
Wow.
contributing their experience and expertise.
It's a compelling vision. But of course, with any major societal shift, there are also challenges to consider, right?
Of course.
Like, how do we ensure that the benefits of longevity research are accessible to everyone, not just a privileged few?
That's a crucial point. We need to address potential disparities in access to spermidine supplements or other longevity interventions. It's about ensuring that these discoveries benefit humanity as a whole.
And beyond the practical considerations, there's a whole realm of philosophical and ethical questions to explore. How might longer lifespans change our perspectives on life, death, and the meaning of aging itself?
Those are deep questions.
They are, yeah.
And I don't think there are easy answers, but I believe that these conversations are essential as we push the boundaries of what's possible in terms of human lifespan. We need to engage in thoughtful dialogue about the implications.
It's a reminder that scientific progress doesn't happen in a vacuum.
Right.
It's intertwined with our values, our beliefs, and the very fabric of our society.
I completely agree. As we delve deeper into the world of spermidine and longevity research, we need to do so with wisdom, foresight, and a commitment to ensuring that these discoveries ultimately serve humanity.
Well said. This has been an incredible deep dive into the world of spermidine, from its cellular mechanisms to its potential societal impact.
Yeah, it really has.
And I think it's safe to say that this is just the beginning.
I think that's a great way to sum it up. Spermidine research is a rapidly evolving field, and I have no doubt that we'll continue to see exciting discoveries in the years to come.
It's a truly fascinating area of exploration, one that has the potential to reshape our understanding of aging and redefine what's possible in the realm of human health and longevity.
I couldn't agree more. It's an exciting time to be following this research.
Well, on that note, it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive. But before we go, I want to leave our listener with one final thought.
I'm all ears.
Imagine a future where age-related decline is no longer seen as inevitable, where we have the tools and the knowledge to live longer, healthier, more fulfilling lives. What would that world look like for you? What possibilities would it open up?
That's a beautiful and thought-provoking question, and I think it's one that each of us should contemplate as we move forward into this uncharted territory.
So to our listener, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep an eye on the fascinating world of spermidine. The future of healthy aging is unfolding before our very eyes, and it's full of possibility.
Thanks for having me on this journey. It's been a pleasure.
The pleasure was all ours. And to our listener, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of spermidine. Until next time.